What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. Roller coaster rides on. Heading into the bye week, you're 5-5. You got a really big matchup with the Falcons on the other side of the bye week, a chance to go up 2 full games on Atlanta. You really cannot screw that up. Is that in Atlanta? I can't remember.
Yes, the next one's in Atlanta.
And, you know, it's interesting. I don't know that I've ever quite seen a season as up or down as the one the Saints were in, where one week we come in and we're like, all right, dude, you know, hey, maybe they're actually okay. Maybe they're pretty good. Look at the weapons, Taysom Hill. And then the next week we come in and, like, they look and they just look terrible. It's not like they just look like bad or below par, but, like, actively terrible. Like, getting down to Josh Dobbs Viking, and that's not disrespect against Dobbs as much as it is just an acknowledgement of this is a top 10 NFL defense, and Josh Dobbs got there a week ago. They should not be able to go up 24-3 in the first half, and you saw that in the second half, right? I mean, they scored 3. Yeah. Like, so you saw more of what it should have been like from the beginning. So, again, it's not just that the Saints show up the next week and they're okay. They're so actively bad that it's infuriating. And so it's causing this rift in the fan base where some of us are saying, hey, enjoy the journey, enjoy the wins. You know, winning's always fun. Winning the division's fun. And then the other side's like, well, yeah, I kind of agree, but I don't want ownership in the front office to get negative reinforcement, right? Where you win an awful division, and maybe you're not that good, but you're like, hey, we won the division, so, you know, we did a good job, and everything was, like, all the people we hired, everything was great. So that is where I think, like, if we on the outside can see that, then you would hope, obviously, they can as well, right? And so you would hope that the front office and the decision makers would be able to enjoy the results and try to produce maximum results while also acknowledging what is clearly deficient, you know? Just because you win a bad division does not mean no changes need to take place. And that's what I'll be interested to see out of the New Orleans Saints this offseason, right? Are you willing to make necessary changes after the year to address your issues? And there's multiple levels to this, right? Maybe it's like we talked about yesterday, drafting a quarterback in the first round, even though you have somewhat of a financial commitment to Carr, but it's really not that long-term of a commitment at all. And it doesn't matter. You should try to get better at every position every year anyway. And so if you have a guy and you score him very high, a la Jaden Daniels or something, or anybody, right? I mean, there's a lot of good quarterbacks coming out this year. If you have a guy that you believe in, go take that man. Try to get better at that position in both the short term and the long term. Maybe it's an OC change, right? Like, I don't care if you win the division. I don't have a ton of faith in Pete Carmichael. It's too questionable. It feels too behind the times. It just doesn't work in this new era of Saints football. So it's not consistent enough. It's just not. And then you get into maybe even going to the full extremity and doing a head coaching change. And now I look, the Saints are very hesitant to do that anyway. So I doubt they would do that if they actually finish out and they manage to win a division, even if it is at like a 9-8 or something like that. And it's gone awry in the past. If you look at like firing like Amani Williams with the Pelicans after making the playoffs. But I guess all I'm saying, Jake, is I hope that the decision makers and leaders can look at the team, you know, enjoy the success, but also be objective about this was good, but in many ways not good enough. How do you fix it?
I think Texas A&M needs to bring Dennis Allen home. I just think that, you know, that works out for everybody.
I mean, NFL head coach, it's a home run, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he was a player there. I think that would really shore up some things for everyone involved. We talk about his record all the time as far as what, like, the overall record is, 20-43 now. But it's really getting time where we start talking about he's 12-15 in New Orleans. So it's not just his time in Oakland. Like, now you're 3 games under 500 with a talented roster in a very poor division in which you finished 3rd in a year ago. Yeah. This year you stayed pretty healthy for the most part, certainly compared to other times in recent memory for the Saints. And so, like, that conversation needs to be had. Also, right, when you're looking for consistency in the NFL, they haven't gotten that. You win 2 games, you lose 2 games. You win a game, you lose 2 games. You win 2 games, you lose a game. I mean, the roller coaster that you're talking about, T, it's been in full force all season long. You cannot keep consistency. Like, you start to win some games and then you lose 2 in a row. It's like it's just up and down, ebbs and flows. And, like, you'll get excited about the win streaks. Like, when you beat the Colts on the road, you came back and you beat the Bears. It's like, all right, here we go. You got an opportunity against the quarterback that's been there about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Top defense, like you said, T, right? Down their best weapon in Jefferson. Let's go find a way. And then you get beat by the obvious guy, like on offense.
Yeah,
like
TJ Hawkins, like the only weapon they have left.
You get beat by the obvious choice. And so those are the things that are so frustrating for Saints fans. It's because you're looking for that consistency. You're looking for them because they should have gone into Minnesota against everybody that they had available, and you should have won that game.
I mean, look at how hapless the Vikings offense was in the second half. Like, that's what it should have been like for 90% of the game. It's the NFL. Maybe they get a couple drives. It should have never jumped out to 24-3.
No, because then, I mean, you get into a situation where you can't do the things that you've been really good at. Once you get down like that in the NFL, it's 2 minute. You're in 2 minute for the rest of the game.
But that's also why I have a quibble with Pete Carmichael. You get the ball back with 11 minutes left. You're down 1 score, and you just don't run it on a day when you're averaging 5 yards a carry.
We talked about it yesterday. I agree with you. And they stayed like in that 2 minute mode for the entire game, even when they got it to 1 score. I don't get behind that. All right, because, again, let's go back to it. Like, you've had success because you've used everybody, the totality of your weapons on offense, and you've used Taysom Hill in 1 carry. He had more catches than he had carries in this game.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, I don't know why they won't consistently, like, come up with a game plan that is a winning game plan. It's just, it's all over the place. And when they have success, it's like they get too comfortable. And they're like, no. We got to go the opposite way. And they felt like they were chasing points, like they were down 3 scores when they were down 8 multiple times in that game.
And so I guess my overall message is, like, as we see these 2 camps in the Who Dat Nation start to emerge, understand you can have a foot in both. You can enjoy the wins, but you can still be upset with things and call for changes to be made after the season, regardless of how good things finish up. Like, just recognize if you win this division, which is very fun, and I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully you do. Like, I want to win every game. It's just more fun, whatever. Like, I guess what I'm saying is, like, if you're afraid that the Saints won't make changes, I understand that, but I still don't think it should ever extend to the point to cheer for a loss, because hopefully the front office will be forward-thinking enough to be honest about the issues. And I feel like I don't know if they will. They like to pride themselves on not being very reactive. But if they don't, well, then that's when you turn up the temperature and start to levy criticism. And that's where I won't do this again next year if this plays out like that. So, wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the 2 guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.